Here are Ryan's top 3 favorite wrestlers. Number 3, Will Ospreay. Number 2, Kenny Omega. Number 1, Master Wada. No way, that can't be right. Damn! Now back to Jack and Ryan on the MonsterCast.
All right, hype levels for AEW All In 2. We talked a little bit about this last week, but we knew that there was going to be more matches announced, and they were. So here we go. Aussie Open versus Better Than You, Baby for the 0 Hour for the Ring of Honor tag team titles. Darby and Sting versus AR Fox and Swerve in a coffin match. Tag team coffin match. I believe that's the first time that's ever happened. Fatal 4-Way women's title match has also been added with Sheeta defending against Toni Storm, Saraya, and obviously it'll be Britt Baker. So hype levels the same, higher, lower from last week. I think I gave it I think I said 8 and you said 7, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So hype levels now. There's been a lot of discourse about the card online. So, and a lot of it not good, which is interesting to me, but whatever.
Not good how? Like people complaining about Jericho or what?
No, because the Jericho match hasn't been announced yet, so no, they're just reacting to the shit that's been announced. And then I think the discourse was actually started because of the rumored match that Omega was going to be in was versus Takeshita, and everybody was hyped about that, and now it's been rumored to be changed to Omega, Ibushi, and Paige versus the
Bang,
Bullet
bang,
Club
gang.
Gold.
Bang bang gang.
Yeah. Which is what I said last week, by the way, that they should do.
Well, it's not Bullet Club Gold, right? It's just Juice and Jay and then Takeshita.
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think anybody complaining about that match is out of their fucking mind.
I agree.
I understand the want to see Kenny Omega in a high-profile singles match in a big stadium show or whatever. But if you look even back at the original All In, wasn't the main event also a multi-man match?
Yeah, that was the Young Bucks and somebody versus Rey Mysterio, Bandito.
Was it Shima?
Who?
The Chinese guy. Shima. C-I-M-A.
So it was the Young Bucks? No, I don't think so.
Was it not?
No, he was with the other guys the Strong Hearts. I believe that was a different match. The main event of All In One was the Young Bucks and somebody versus, I believe, Phoenix, Bandito, and Rey Mysterio. I can't remember who the fuck the Young Bucks teamed up with. Damn. How the fuck do I not know that? Give me a second.
It's a long time ago.
But anyway, go ahead. Talk while I'm looking this up because I don't want to waste any time.
Yeah, the complaints about that match specifically don't make any sense to me. Like I was saying, I do understand wanting to see Kenny Omega in like a big singles match or whatever, but you've got another pay-per-view another week after that where he'll probably be doing something in singles that they're probably going to be setting up as part of this anyway. And when you have a big stadium show like this, the idea is to get as many people on the card as possible. So complaining about not everybody having a singles match is kind of weird. And then also, I love Takeshita, but I don't think they've built him up enough to be the one in that spot in a singles match. And if they do put him there, I don't think it'd be very high on the card. Like you've got
There's Ibushi, by the way.
Okay. You've got
Ibushi and Matt and Nick Jackson, the Golden Elite, defeated Bandito, Rey Mysterio, and Rey Phoenix. Gotcha. I do remember that it was a rushed match or whatever because they were running out of time on the pay-per-view. And that match was like fucking balls to the wall for all 10, 11 minutes that it was. But yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, it's just about getting names on the card at this point so that you can say that you had, whatever different people worked that show.
Okay, so my issue is that I was going back and forth with one dude on Twitter, which I'm still calling it that because...
Yeah. Because fuck that.
Because what the fuck? I'm not calling it X. That's fucking stupid. You've been X, punk! Alright, let's see.
Middle-aged dork trying to sound cool, yeah? Gonna call it X. It's super cool.
Hold on, I've been actually...
Fucking 1995 AIM screen name ass.
Alright, so the original tweet was by Lee Charlton, and I don't have a mark that tweet this week, so we'll just use this real quick. So everybody obviously is referring to this as the biggest pro wrestling event in history, right? Because it is, as far as attendance, and probably ticket sales by the time it's done.
Fake news.
Well, I don't know. It might not be the Dallas WrestleMania for 8,
Collision
but
in Korea, baby.
yeah, well, that's what he said. Collision in Korea never happened. That's why you can't justify the size of an event solely based on arena attendance, as people completely disregarding those two events. Pay-per-view buys, merchandise sales, cultural meaning, and industry timing, as well as the attendance, contribute overall. I said Collision in Korea was attended by people forced to be there. Also, if we were talking cultural, then All In 2 would have already surpassed the biggest cultural pro wrestling event ever just by hitting 50K, let alone 80. What they're doing right now was at one time unimaginable, impossible.
What does that mean to you? What does that sentence mean to you? That it would have surpassed the biggest cultural by passing 50K?
Pro wrestling event.
Yeah, but there's been how?
Because, okay, so here's the thing. The very first All In was based off of can we sell 10,000 tickets when WWE has ran the entire industry for over 20 plus years, right? And they did it. That was a big shift because it ended up creating AEW. I think them running Wembley and selling 50K, which is fucking 5 times the amount of what they did at All In 1, would have already surpassed it in a cultural setting because of them going against WWE. At one point, and which was not long ago, no one ever thought there would ever be another promotion that would even come close to WWE. And this motherfucker popped up out of nowhere and is now on pace and running side by side with them. At 80K and passing the actual SummerSlam 92 number officially, which I believe happened this week, what they're doing right now is insane, and no one is looking at it from that perspective. They're just comparing it to Collision in Korea. Who gives a fuck about Collision in Korea? That was not a cultural fucking pro wrestling event.
I don't think I would use the word cultural for what you're trying to say. I mean, I think it's significant for the industry.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about. A cultural impact in the actual industry. I'm not talking about pop culture like WrestleMania 3 was.
Gotcha. Okay. Then sure. Yeah. If you mean like it's more significant industry wise, then
I will say that WrestleMania 3 was a lot easier to pull off because there was a lack of channels, right? There was no social media. I think it was easier to pull that off than what AEW is pulling off right now against something that had been going for 50 years and ran unopposed for 20 plus.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, so did you see the weird little war that was happening on the Wikipedia about the highest attended wrestling events?
People just kept going in there and changing the shit.
People kept going in and trying to add like multi-day events to it and counting attendance for shit where that's not what they were there for. So like SmackDown had done one episode at the Rolling Loud Festival or whatever the fuck in like the Hard Rock Cafe parking lot or something. And it was like over the course of multiple days, but then they put that in there as the full attendance of the entire Rolling Loud event over multiple days for the one SmackDown thing. And trying to say that like, oh no, this was actually the highest like WWE event. But what they didn't realize is that AEW had done their little show at Gamescom, or whatever the fuck it's called, in Germany. And so technically, if you wanted to do it under those criteria, the Evil Uno versus Christopher Daniels match, I think it was actually the main event of the highest wrestling one, because like 260 something thousand people attended Gamescom over the course of however many days. So yeah, it's like a whole stupid fucking thing where they're I don't know who cares about
wait.
to do this.
If we were doing that, wouldn't WrestleMania 2 beat everything because it was held in like 3 different arenas at the same time?
No, because even all those added up, I think was only 180 something. So here's the thing about the things that they're citing. It's like 260,000 plus.
Gotcha.
Because they're counting the attendance of the full thing, right? So even 3 arenas at 60K a piece would only be 180.
Which I don't think all 3 of them were 60K a piece anyway. There's no way. Not for WrestleMania 2. WrestleMania 3 is when it popped off. So WrestleMania 2, I assume that it was actually lower than probably lower than 60K, honestly.
So yeah, the Rolling Loud thing is fucking hilarious though. Like, oh, and then they tried to combine the 2 days of I think the most recent WrestleMania to say that the total attendance is what matters over the course of the 2 days or whatever because of one event. Like that kind of shit, dude. These people, I don't know who.
So they don't know the difference between event and events?
Yeah,
is basically what you're saying.
I'm trying to figure out who the fuck is so desperate to like defend WWE on being the highest attended whatever, that they're like, oh, you know what? That one SmackDown episode of Rolling Loud, we should count the total attendance of all of Rolling Loud for that entire year.
But what was
and
the
say that
attendance
now
for
it's
WrestleMania
so
in Dallas, though?
stupid.
At the new stadium, I believe. I mean, I don't see what was the actual attendance is the question. That's the thing. The one that they had in Dallas with the new Cowboy Stadium, where it seats over 100,000 fucking people. I believe they announced it at 100,000 something people, but I don't know what the actual number is.
Let's see.
But all this aside, my hype level, I would say, has not wavered, but it hasn't really gone up yet either. If that makes sense. I think I'm going to stay at an 8.
So which one are you talking about? Which event?
The most recent Dallas one, whatever the fuck it was. I don't know what number it was.
You sure it wasn't Arlington?
Yeah, I assume that's where the Cowboys play. It's the stadium for the Dallas Cowboys. That's why I said Dallas.
Oh, so AT&T Stadium. Yes, Arlington, Texas. It's not Dallas technically, but
But that's where the Dallas Cowboys play.
actual attendance was 80,709.
So technically, that's still number 1 then.
For right now, yeah.
Because I'm not counting Collision in Korea.
Right. So
yeah.
And somebody finally came back into this article and split the Collision in Korea's back into 2 days. First of all, so it's 150 and 165. But then also they took out all that bullshit with the Rolling Loud and whatever. So it seems like somebody came and said, nah, fuck that.
So AEW still has a little bit to go. But like you said when you texted me the new number after they announced the Sting match, like, let's be real. Like, there's a lot of people that have never seen Sting in person. This is their one chance to do it because everybody knows he's about to leave. I do believe that announcing a match for Sting actually helped move the needle a little bit. So that's pretty cool that he's going to get a chance to be in front of a huge crowd like that again after the debacle that was WrestleMania against Triple H. But yes, I am up to... I'm still up to an 8. I don't know what it would take for me to get higher. I think I would push it to a 9 because it's like an 8.5 right now. I'm like leaning towards it, but I'm not saying 0.5s for this. But I feel like once they announce the Omega match, whatever that's going to be, I think it'll be bumped up to a 9.
Hey guys, did you like that video? If so, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can also catch full episodes of the MonsterCast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And you can also catch us live every Sunday on Twitch. All links in the description below, along with some sweet merch from yours truly, the MonsterCast. Deuces.